Good evening, guys, and welcome to the Wargaming.net League Monday pre-show, mid-show, talk-about show. Haven't really got a name for the show yet. It's up for you guys to suggest something. Monday show. Just a Monday show I think is going to work best. Don't you think?
Monday talkative. No.
Daki?
I'm still waiting to be ready to be a party girl. Give me 5 minutes.
Daki,
Just get a tie
still
on,
got to
man.
get the makeup.
Nah.
Just get a tie on and you're gonna bling and you're gonna shine.
Nah. We're gonna pass on that one, to be honest.
Why? You look so magnificent.
Yeah. Magnificent.
You've still got one more tie to wear, haven't you?
No, I wanted to tell you, I'm doing the hat instead.
You're gonna
Just
do the hat?
Yeah, I'm doing the hat.
So
Just
head and the
arbitrarily?
tie?
Hat and the tie, but the first tie, not the second one.
Okay.
So you're going for a double whammy. And do you
Damn.
have something picked out for Mojo?
I do,
You're
but
gonna
Okay.
have to wait for your head for the last week then.
Okay, it's going to be
You
an
have to
interesting...
reorder everything.
It's going to be an
Feels bad,
interesting,
Feels
going to
bad.
be an interesting Friday if you used to. Now, kind of theme that we're going to talk about today is actually changes that have happened throughout the season, whether it be changes in team performance, changes in vehicles, changes in meta, changes in maps. It's something we touched on at the start of the season, but now it's becoming a bit more important. For everyone watching right now on Twitch, Facebook as well, it's going to be harder to get questions from Facebook, but for everyone on Twitch, any questions you guys have, stick them in chat. We'll try and filter through them as best as we can and answer as many as possible. Now, first kind of topic for today, if you like, is what happened at the weekend for the previous matches. So, looking back onto Thursday, we had Savage Squad Isuba 4-5. We had Go Hard beating Utopia 5-3. Kazna Crew defeating Ding 5-3, which was then actually Ding's third loss in a row.
That was actually a match, as far as I was watching when you guys were casting, that could have went both ways. I mean, after a lot of clinches.
no, it should have been a tiebreaker. Should have been
Yeah.
a tiebreaker at the very least. Ding had at least one of the two Prokhorovka rounds secured, but then didn't close it out whatsoever. That just looks better on me. Don't be jealous.
Like, it's only when we actually sat down we realised we were wearing the same T-shirt. A little bit embarrassing.
I'm the only one who doesn't have one. Not fair. Well, anyways, like I remember that 1-2 famous Kazna push. Never saw that before in previous season or ever before on Prokhorovka by them. That went magnificently as usual. Stopped in their tracks and then they kind of rotated and won a round. I have no idea how.
Yeah, they rotated back in time and were able to focus damage. That was when Haiba and Comms were killing ourselves laughing because Haiba just ordered Vetso to make a shield for him and just die for his
But
captain.
then you could also hear Haiba say, oh, I missed him. And then when you look back at the replay, you can see Haiba auto-aiming the bot shot and just clicking fire, and that's why he missed him.
Oh,
Things happen.
I didn't actually have time to watch a replay.
I might have gotten that gift submitted by a great
Sent
fan.
to you. Okay. Then on the follow-up day, it was you two casting. Daki with your lovely party girl tie. It was magnificent. You looked so happy wearing it. You know, brought out your eyes. It was everything. It was nice.
He actually looks good with pink ties, man. You gotta admit that.
You wear pink really well, Daki. You know, they say pink
do
to
it
make
more
the boys
often.
wink.
I am not wearing any more pink ties after this season.
Okay.
You
The
never
only
know.
thing that's
Okay.
left to do, what was the bet again for me to dance
For
off
you
against
to do a
Barry?
dance-off, it has to be Go Hard getting 1 or 2, which is really unlikely right now. So that's a super safe bet.
Let's
There's
go.
no, but there was no counter thing to that. We didn't have like a thing if that didn't happen, you know. So it's a kind of safe bet for you. Friday, we then had probably the quickest evening we've ever had in the Wargaming lead. We had a 5-0, a 1-5, and a 2-5. Kazna defeating Savage, Cryptic Oops defeating Cryptic. Ding defeating Go Hard, and that was then Kazna's 4th win in a row. So Kazna coming into a bit of form there.
Yeah, but effectively, when we watched, that was a matchup between top 3 teams with bottom 3 teams, so nothing surprising happened there. I mean, on the start of the season, we could all question the form of Kazna, the loss of Stefan going to Go Hard, the super strong team of Go Hard being assembled, like a monstrosity that was supposed to be, and such things. Kazna weekend, playing with players who were reserves. But during the season, it proved completely different. Like the Kazna proved to be a seasoned team, and they dealt with the loss of a player really well. And Go Hard didn't think that well yet.
Interesting thing here, actually, now that I think about it, between Kazna and Ding. Now, as you know, we guys have... I'll do this question first. So why wasn't Zet doing in the matches after doing so well? Do you actually know that? Why Zet wasn't in? Or can we use that as a speculation?
It might have something to do with playing a T100 Light on Morovanka and deciding to shoot at a bot shot and then losing the game for his team.
Okay, I just thought maybe he wasn't available, but anyway.
That would be like challenging Danny for shooting with Bachat through the bushes and getting wrecked on mines, but never mind, right?
Danny's the tactician, you know? Like, listen, Mojo, you should know this. The field commander never makes the mistake, okay?
Yes.
He's just too busy with leading to think about his gameplay.
That's completely true, actually.
That is true.
Now, yeah, the point I was going for here, speaking of Ding and Kazna, as you know, we guys have a fantasy league going. And sometimes people pick players all of one team because, you know, the team's playing for 3 times in the weekend, so there's a high chance they'll get lots of points. Mojo, you took a lot of Kazna crew players this weekend, didn't you?
I pretty much took 6 out of 7.
Daki, you took a lot of Ding players, and they lost their first match, didn't you? No one to talk about that? Okay, you don't want to talk about that. So here's what actually happened now,
Why
Daki.
do we bring this up now? I was leading an entire season. I was number 1.
I'm actually really rich.
Mojo.
I was number 1 an entire season, and I looked at the schedule.
Dude,
and
I can finance the entire team from this money.
I'm
like
telling
I can buy
you,
whoever I want now.
I'm telling you, there was 3 Ding matches there. Somebody fudged around with the schedule, made me make a mistake, and this is the result. I won last season, I was first this season, and now we bring this up.
So,
okay.
Daki sitting in lucky 13th. I mean, I'm behind at 19th. I'm rubbish at predicting stuff. That's cool. That's cool.
You have more money than Daki.
But the real challenge now is between Daki and Mojo, and Daki realizes he can't buy the team that he wants to buy for next week.
I have a strategy.
And Mojo can do that.
I have a strategy. Don't worry about it.
It involves logging on my PC and deleting my players before the match.
Just selecting all the players that have not actually played yet.
Of course, Daki's team is the little boy squad. What can I say? You know.
Well.
Someone has boys squad, someone has OGs, man. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Just try to be little in it. That's the only condition. That was the best thing I could think of.
Oh. And who made you that condition?
No, I just made that my own condition.
So you made condition that it has to be a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Little Daki, the little streamer, you know.
The little streamer.
Little Daki, yeah. Little guy. Yeah, okay. There's actually a question just saying somebody asking if the matches are pre-recorded.
Like,
how do we?
This fantasy thing, like.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay, you got a strategy. Okay, yeah. Why all players from one team, especially when the team's not playing 3 matches that weekend?
Elaborate, please.
You know what? I'm just like a very nice guy. You guys might not realize this, but deep down inside, I'm like super nice.
I know
so
you're
I was
very
like,
deep.
I want to help.
Deep down inside.
I want to help
nice.
my dear friend Mihailo to actually come back for once, and I'm gonna make it interesting till the end of the season.
Okay, that's the
that was the goal.
That's the excuse. Okay. Somebody actually asking if the matches are pre-recorded. How do we prevent? How do we stop players from being able to watch the matches? Well, the simple truth to that is there's a delay on the stream. So we actually start the stream 10 minutes ahead of time, so that even if the players were watching the stream, they would only see what happened 10 minutes ago. So yeah, there can be no stream sniping. Now, going back to the matches we just had, then on Sunday, so even just yesterday, Kazna dismantled Cryptic 5-1, Utopia beat Savage Squad 5-2, and then Oops defeated eSuba 5-2, in which was actually a very good match to watch.
Yeah, Suba showed a really good promise here. It's something that I remember Vetso said when we had an interview with him, like Suba guys are actually really good, but they had no lucky break, like no karma enough, I would say, to win some games. But they do have steady performance, and the biggest fight will be between those 3 bottom teams who will stay 6th, so they can participate in playoffs and not to have play any relegations later or whatever, or fall out. So that will be the fight between the Esuba, Savage Squad, and Cryptic. And so far, by the looks of it, I think Esuba is strongest. Although they have only 1 point more. What they shown the last time, that was pretty solid play.
To be honest, though, like Savage Squad should have beaten Isuba in that tiebreaker on Morovanka. I don't think Isuba had a single foothold until Zed decided to be a very generous guy with an early Christmas gift. It's like, you want to win the round? I'll make you win the round. No worries. And then also, I think against Utopia, Savage Squad had 1 or 2 rounds they could have very easily picked up. Their ghost on defense, honestly, should never have been lost with the HP lead they had. Lots of individual positioning mistakes and shooting mistakes coming out there. And then again, also on San River, I don't think that they should have lost their attacking round where they were too slow and then they got counter-pushed by Utopia by all the heavies.
I agree.
That was a 1 round for them as well. So I think Savage Squad, they have opportunities, but they're just making so many small little mistakes that are costing them.
But that's the point what I'm saying. like that is something like a stigma that is following them entire season so far. I mean, whenever you watch them, you can always say, okay, this is excuse for this. This is maybe Z here, maybe this guy here, maybe this guy here. But at the end of the day, everyone gets what they deserve, and they have 4 points just because of that, not because of some extraterrestrial influence.
Now, also with that win, that then gave Oops their 8th win in a row. And there's a question actually kind of tying in here. Has Ding became too predictable? This is what I was actually going to... The very next thing we're going to talk about is the different fortunes that Ding and Oops have had compared to previous seasons. Have Ding become too predictable and not being able to counter plays like what seems to be like Oops always seem to have almost a perfect counter, or they're able to get their way out of trouble?
I think Oops' reactions are just really on point right now. Their rotations, their counter plays are just like almost at the perfect timing as it is right now, and they seem to have good reads on how opponents are going to play. I think Ding might have come into the season a little bit lackluster, a little bit maybe even tired after grand finals as well. I mean, we all know that they prepared a lot for that, lots of preparation.
And they came second in the world,
yeah.
so that's quite a
I
feat.
mean, and afterwards they might have been slacking a little bit, but like I think for them it's like those 5%, because there's a lot of rounds which they could win, and in previous seasons they would win, but they're now losing because of those 5% that they're missing. But I think they're the kind of team that can easily get those 5% before the land finals.
The problem was only they will maybe have to play through playoffs first time together, and that's an extra factor. And what I want to say to Oops now, their plays remind me a lot of some better Russian teams in past, if you remember. Like the main tactics doesn't really super exist. They have an initial plan, but there is a lot of reactions later. And that was something that throughout the years was dividing the best CIS teams from Europe, but that gap is closed pretty much.
That was one of the biggest differences, I think, that Mojo's bringing up between CIS and EU. If you're watching CIS, they have the strategies, but like as soon as something happens on the map, like one tank gets put under pressure or one tank starts taking a lot of damage, there's the reaction from the rest of the team.
Like
old school, to counterplay that team.
Old school
you have a lot of you have a lot of trades in CIS where one tank goes down and then immediately you get the counterplay to take back a tank on the other side of the map to even out the game. There's a lot of counterplay coming out there.
Why Savage Squad play bad this season? Any reasons? For me, the main issue kind of with Savage Squad is, although it has some veteran players, you've still got a lot of players who are new to the league format, new to the discipline of having to come up with new tactics and be on point every single weekend. So I think that may be a little bit of inexperience in a way. What do you guys think?
I don't know which season to compare it with, because this is their first season.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of factors, though. I mean, they played with a team in relegations. That team got kind of split off. They lost Creator, they lost Mareshka, they lost Marstora, so they lost the core of the team. They brought in new guys like Dani, Zed, and then others as well that we didn't even see play. So they had little preparation time to come in towards the season. And I think like not having a super strong start and not losing points is kind of demoralizing them a little bit at least. And they're just not having... And they're being a little bit unlucky as well, but mostly down to themselves.
Takes a lot of patience, guys, to lose a lot of matches and then still try to qualify. Like Ducky would know that best.
Still stuck in there.
The only guy ever to lose the first 5 matches and then win the next 6. No, it was 5.
So you won the 6th.
Yeah, we lost 5 matches in season 4, I think it was.
Forever, right?
Season 4, we lost the first 5 matches against everybody, even though we should have beaten Virtus and School Bus for that matter. But
shoulda, woulda, coulda.
We lost the 5 first matches and then won the next 6
against Virtus, and I will never forget that.
I don't know what you're talking about. and then we won the next. Then we won the next 6 matches.
Has blocking the boosts changed the game? Well, you only still really see boosts on mines, and it's risky. It's very risky. We've seen Senya like demolish a team being up in that area, but we've also seen him be very ineffective up in that area.
It changed the game a lot. For one, we lost steps because Wargaming was cutting out on boosts, but already steps were deciding even before the patch that they will not be in the map pool, so Sand River was used. Instead of that, on Sand River you have a total of 2 boosts that can be used, and they're rather easy to do, and all teams know them, and they're counterable.
Well, you have 3 technically.
On mines, if you want to boost, you also have like 2 places where you can go that are useful. One of them can be done easily in the background of attacker, but the one that is offensive, you have to really prepare, heavy duty prepare to put someone up. I've seen one CIS match when Maxton was trying to go up and he died in both sides in first 30 seconds of the
Yeah.
match.
And
Not
then-
60,
Yeah, it
30.
happened in NA as well, where Mr. Man got eliminated by a Type 5 heavy when he tried. I mean, they just tried to do it straight up, even knowing that a Type 5 was there, which was kind of crazy.
I don't think Boost has changed the game. I think the new introduction of tanks has changed the game. Fosh B has changed
Yes.
minds as it is, and I think also
VZ.
the WZ has changed minds as it is as
And
well. But
funnily enough,
especially the
saying that-
Fosh, especially the Fosh for mines is a big difference
Yeah.
because of the 6 shots. If you were counting, I think it was Kazna that played. No, I don't know who it was, but somebody played with double Fosh B, and a AMX50B might have been CS as well. And if you just think about the amount of shots that is on the crossing,
The damage, yeah.
that is that's 16 autoloader shots that potentially could go into a crossing. That just instantly removes 1 or 2 tanks. We've seen it multiple times over. It's very hard now.
And speaking of the Fosh, I mean, that's something else, and keeping in line here with changes this season. One of the biggest changes we got coming over from last season was the change to a lot of the meta. Mouse was, for example, super dominant. You still see Mouse a lot of the time now, but a tank that's starting to really shine is the WZ115A, the new Chinese heavy tank. And we actually have a little video for you guys to give you a little bit more information just about that vehicle.
Hello everybody and welcome back to our educational series. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at the 5A and its influence on the meta in WGL. Some of you might remember scenes like this from previous season finals, where the lineups were mainly dominated by mouse tanks, 9 actually to be exact in this matchup. The mouse meta caused the game to slow down a lot, and often came down to mouse-on-mouse action. The meta was incredibly slow and not really fun for teams to play in, or for viewers at home to watch. With the nerf of the mouse, however, and the introduction of the 5A, the meta has shifted quite drastically. The 5A only recently got introduced, but it's already had a significant impact on the meta. The WZ is a prototype based on the IS-2 and IS-3 chassis to be a quicker version of it. One of the key factors of the WZ is its mobility. With 50 km per hour top speed and great acceleration, this tank is ideal for quick and aggressive plays. Who Cares on Himmelsurf is the perfect example of this. Only 1 minute into the game, they are already going for a cap strategy versus the slow lineup from Dig.
This is interesting. So WZ5A is being used for effectively a cap rush tactic. Now,
9
the King
seconds.
is the one on the edge of the road. There's no reset going to come in because the King is blocking all the shots. Andre's going to step up as well.
They're
All
gonna
the
cap.
capture points here with Senti and Grimmick. Ding are not ready for this. They can't get to the base. They're being completely outplayed by this cap rush. Senti and Grimmick with all the capture points.
On Sand River, the WZ has a pivotal role, as a lot of quick cap tactics are used, with the WZs going as a ball of death into the cap and punishing anybody trying to reset.
Get a shot, while a shot, they can't. Stay safe.
Deep look it, deep look it. Start going back, go back, go back, go back.
He balls.
Another example of how the mobility of the WZ comes into effect. It's great at chasing down enemies or moving quickly around the map. Papa Pavian, because of his mobility, was able to get across the map and find the solo 50B of Philware hiding in a corner and win the round for his team. The next strong point of the WZ is the gun depression. With -7 in the front, it has changed the meta on Prokhorovka to more of a middle engagement. You can see how the 5As are squaring off against each other, and the team with the better peaks and shooting will edge out ahead. Also, notice how much HP a volley of these 5As can remove from the enemy's tanks. The 5A is utilized a lot on mines, on both the attack and the defense. For the attack, it can be used to push both the east and the western side. On the defense, it can be used on the island, as demonstrated in this example. Even the T100 is used to just shield the hull of the 5A. When the 5A is hull down like this, it's extremely hard to pen the turret at a distance. The one downside of the 5A is when it's not hull down, the sides and the front are not the strongest. So if you catch them out in the open like Ding did on Sand River, you can remove a ton of hit points from them. Not forgetting that both the fuel tanks and ammo rack are quite weak on this tank. even hold down, there's the potential to pen the 5A. If the turret turns slightly towards the direction facing away, the Leopard 1 will just go straight through it. So all in all, the 5A is quite a strong tank. It has a powerful gun with a big alpha, decent gun depression, and it's also very quick. Don't forget, however, if it's not in that holdout, it can still be quite vulnerable, so positioning it well is important. The 5A has caused the meta in WGL to speed up quite drastically, and it has been a change for the better. I hope this gave you some insight into how the 5A is used in the WGL, and as always, see you on the battlefield.
It's nice to see you then there with that buttoned-up shirt, but it was strange without the tie. You know, you should wear the tie more often.
Just want
for
to
those
say
videos.
that guy during the video, oof, what a guy. Great explanations.
Shark attack.
Much why you have to ruin it, man?
Why? Yeah. Every time we do this Monday show, you've always got your hat on. Are you worried about your hair? Like, why don't you just show everyone how lovely your hair is?
I'm just too lazy to do my hair on Mondays.
Just, if you take the hat off, is it going to be like?
I don't think it'll be that bad. Okay.
It might be that bad.
Totally Russian.
Dude, please, like, what do you expect? It's under a cap. Please, hello.
Brilliant.
You know, Ryan, it's I
hairstyle.
don't give a damn Monday. So
Yeah. I'm like mine's is totally Russian as well. Like, you know, put the hat on, not bother about it. But at least we came in with the twin T-shirts, Stacky. You know, so like.
If you were my twin, honest to God, I would move as far away as I possibly
Russian
could.
truckers.
Russian
Yeah.
truckers?
Russian
Dude, I am the greatest Euro truck player on this planet, okay?
Oh, that's a huge
That's
question.
a question
here.
for
Right.
Ans.
Why not have 768, and why are they playing this season 770? Which opportunity? This new format, and why all tier 10s? Why not 1 tier 8 and then all tier 10s? So basically, why the difference from the old format to the new format?
It's quite easy. For one, when we played 768, we had tier 8 lights as the top.
Exactly.
We didn't have tier 10 lights, which are getting updated anyways in the next patch, I think it is, because they're underperforming, which is true. Second of all, the second reason why you can like change from 768 to 770 is because every single tank is equally important. You no longer have players such as Kuritz, for
Kind of
example.
throwaway role.
I mean, such as
Kurit
Kuritz.
still scouts, but only with tier
yeah.
10
I know,
heavies
but
now.
like a throwaway tank. So now every single player, if you have 7 skilled players, is going to be better than 6 skilled players and
Tactician.
a tactician or a 430 enclave.
yeah.
So, like introduction of tier 10 lights, I think that's the main change and the main reason, but also it's more flexible now because if you want to play with 7 damage dealer heavies, why not?
Why don't teams damage their arty to get the adrenaline rush triggered? Because they could kill their arty. I mean, like,
Trying to explain that to people watching it as well would be a very.
imagine
yeah.
you would have to lower the 261 below 51 HP unless you're shooting with like a low caliber HE. If you shot him with the 5A, you have plus minus 25% chance. You're gonna
To
kill him
just
half the
one-shoot
time.
him
I'm
immediately.
pretty sure if shooting your teammates worked tactically like that, that it would get patched out very quickly by Wargaming as well, because it's not something that you'd want to encourage
Yeah, I
or
know
see
people
in
that used
streams.
to do that.
We used to
Doesn't
do it
always work.
actually in old Clan Wars, but
you just use a low caliber gun with HE and you chip away at him slowly. Like you
but
should.
that was long time ago. No one risks it.
Yeah. crazy old school tactics. But I mean, keeping with the kind of theme about changes this season as well. I mean, we also have other stuff to talk about, but something I want to talk about is just the difference in fortune. 2 specific teams, Ding and Oops. Ding, not having a great time. 3 matches they lost in a row. They kind of came back from it, and Oops just being absolutely fantastic. We touched a little bit on Oops earlier on, but you're saying like, you know, playing like the Russian teams. What's happened to Ding this season?
I think there's a few things. I think the new patch is not that great for them as it was. 770 coming out, not that much time to prepare. They're a team that works very hard at that one strategy, that one standard, knowing the standard, knowing all the reactions, the rotations towards it. But with the new patch, 770, new tanks, Foch B, the update of the Type 5 with the armor nerf, the update of the mouse, it just completely changed the meta. But I think they're that kind of team that by the end of the season will have it nailed down.
it's also, we've said, like, it's actually true. Like, tactician is it's really hard to be a tactician and play. And Koritz was always playing tier 8 lights or tier 9s. heavies, so what people were calling more replaceable tanks. And now he has to play a full tier 10 plus to lead a team. That's not the easiest job in the world. Also, they replaced one player, positive for Senya.
Yeah.
So Senya is a great replacement, but still, I guess it takes a bit time to sync with the team and everything.
Breakneck playing a bit reckless sometimes as well.
That's his playstyle.
That's his playstyle.
It's always been like that, though.
But in the past, he was more of the consistent damage dealer, whereas now he's like almost a sure, like a kind of safe bet in a way to die first for his team.
He's still figuring out his plays, but he didn't really change his playstyle from past seasons. He's always that kind of player that's going to try and take that risk and try and see if he can find an opening here or there.
He's really good to find an opening in the enemy team, but sometimes he just overreacts or doesn't hit all the shots.
Unless he's one-on-one with a girl.
It might also have to do with the fact that they're losing so much that he's now trying to do more of these plays.
More risky plays, yeah.
And he should not.
More. Yeah, but I don't know.
But it's not only that. I really don't think it's not only about Ding. I think it's about other teams also catching up on everything and progressing as their units. So I don't think it's like a downfall of Ding. It's like more of both together. Other teams are just rising in their readiness, in performance. They're more experienced. It's one thing when you were starting to play Gold League before. When we were all starting...
I don't know what you're talking about. I was amazing.
Yeah, you were amazing from the start. You just popped up and that was it. But like
I did kind of just pop up and that was it, though, to be honest.
We even couldn't train with the Russian teams, as example, before because they were constantly rejecting. They were far ahead of us. They even started seasons before us, so we could only train with local teams and such things. Now European teams can regularly train with whoever they want because they're good enough, and it's a big difference.
What do you guys think of the unpredictable pushes from Go Hard? I think, to be honest, even Go Hard are not able to predict their unpredictability, which is perhaps one of the problems this season.
Their pushes are meant with a reason.
Yeah.
But sometimes they just don't work out. Like when they played against Ding on Himmelsdorf, their push would have, I think, 95% sure worked if nobody got spotted 10 seconds before. Collabs got spotted 10 seconds before.
On Sand River, if you remember.
Like on Himmelsdorf, the thing is they got spotted with one guy 10 seconds too early, which made the two tanks on K-line peek out, shoot them, which made Shockers from the hill peek out and shoot them, and which made the two guys in the 8 line just kind of sit safe. So that ruined it. And then on Sand River, they had Kurid completely caught off.
Yeah.
And if they tracked him once, he would die, and they would win that round.
If they connected initial shells, which they were shooting while just driving or committing.
Yeah, because it took Stefan to come over and kill him there.
There is a lot of shock play into the Go Hard's plays, a lot of surprise attempts. So a lot of their tactics are based on that blitz effect. But if they don't work out those first 60 seconds, I guess, as they are supposed to, then everything spirals downward.
Yeah, true. Now, someone mentioned earlier on about boosts and climbs, and a map that had some quite strong boosts and climbs previously was Steps, which is no longer part of the league this season. Now we actually have Sand River, which is a new map. For anyone not familiar with it, or even just if you want to know more about the map, here's a video from Mr. De Killzor to give you more information just about it.
Hello guys and welcome to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the map Sand River, which was added to the WGL this season. On Sand River, both caps are relatively close to each other. The attacker spawns in the western side and the defender spawns in the eastern side. Sand River has a lot of ridges and small pockets where the defender or attacker can play from and make traps. The middle dune in front of the cap is probably the most important to control, as you can defend and spot both caps from it. Because of the changes to the M48 pattern in 9.20, it makes it a popular tank on Sand River. Because of the much harder turret and the gun depression it has, it makes it a perfect tank for a map like Sand River with lots of dunes and small hills where you need that gun depression. The great thing about the pattern is it also has a very high base view range, so combined with optics, it can actually spot very well. It has amazing spotting. There's two important boosts/climbs on Sand River, one for the attack, one for the defense. This one is the one for attack where you either get pushed up or you can do it solo in tanks like Batchat. This position allows you to have a lot of control over the south side if the defender pushes. From the defense, it's the same concept. You can either be boosted up or do it solo in lights. This position allows for great overlook over the northern side of the map and you can spot everything. When teams were still feeling out Sand River, a lot of aggressive north pushes happened, with the 5A up front trying to put cap pressure. If the defender is not quick or not in the right position to defend, the game can be over rather quickly, as you will see in this example.
Still care, shot, still care. Volley shot, they can't recap. Stay safe.
Deep look at, deep look at. Start going back, go back, go back, go back.
He balls, he balls, he balls, he balls.
The D7 June is important, but you need to be careful on how you position, otherwise you might end up like Pashka. Comes to show, Masters can go down quickly too. The distribution of tanks on the defense is equally important. If the crossfire is not on point, then you are vulnerable for an up and over, as demonstrated by the boys from Oops. With teams getting more familiar with the map, the early aggression is being punished more and more often by the defender, trying to prevent the early play from happening. As a direct result of this, teams are now often trying to approach the start cap, which is much harder to do because the crossfire and shooting needs to be amazing to actually pull it off. If the crossfire is on point though, and the shells are being connected by the attacking team, this strategy is lethal because the defender needs to come out to spot at one point if they can't blind fire enough. So all in all, you could say Sand River is a quite balanced map where the defender cannot just sit in one position. With the multiple dunes and attacking angles, it makes it for a lot of rotation in a very interesting map actually, where the defender has to be careful with every single move. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.
That guy really sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
At least he speaks English, right?
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, tips for new clans and how can they play professional? Oh, you two guys are the perfect people to ask for
Actually,
this.
I am the worst.
Clan leaders of two of the best
have
clans
no
in the
idea
region.
Actually, I'm the
whatsoever.
worst person to ask about this. 'cause
Clan
I-
Commander of Fame, Clan Commander of Casna
I
Crew.
just go randomly
you couldn't
around,
have two more qualified people here.
Yeah, but I don't know how to work with new clans though, because I'm just
Casna
looking to
Crew,
play top
Fame,
clan.
Tomato. Big difference here.
Maybe you can give advice for the new clans.
Well,
the thing is-
Daki did
listen,
bring up
it's-
his
it is-
team, you
it
know,
is
into
very
Gold
hard.
League.
It's very hard to, in the current state of clans, to start a new clan for one, to get enough people to be competitive and to find enough players to be competitive as well. Because you're not just looking for players, you're also looking for good players that are active. Now, there's already so many established clans that is a big issue. Like, if you want to do this, this is a commitment you're making for like at least 6 months to even be
I would say
competitive.
look for active people who want to play on a similar level. If you are people of 50% win rate, look for similar and upgrade over time. Play a lot of strongholds so you can have boost. I think the matchmaking matches mainly similar clans.
It is hard to build a stronghold though.
It cannot get attacked anymore, so it can't get sacked or
Yeah,
destroyed.
it feels bad, man. It honestly
So
feels really bad
you-
because
you
that was
are
my
a- you
favorite
are a-
thing to
you-
do.
You're a vicious person.
What do you mean?
Making agreements and breaking them.
So
make
basically,
agreements
start
and
from
break 'em.
activity, build some skills, some team cohesion, and move onward. And people who want to play serious over time, when they are fed up with clan wars and skirmishes, they're gonna try to play Silver League, Gold League eventually, and so on. But it takes that's kind of like out of the pictures, you can see.
Or you can just be like Carlo and be special, you know.
Just get your way into a team for just because people think you're amusing.
I don't think he's amusing.
Okay.
He's like my child, but not really my child. You know what I mean?
That's a
I'm
funny
raising-
kind of
I-
parentship
I'm
there,
I'm
actually.
raising him in my image.
Wow.
He's gonna
Okay.
be great.
That's going to be
He's
interesting.
gonna be the commander of fame.
Daki 2.0. Is he the deputy commander then?
You leave everything to your children.
Yeah, I wish, man. I'd rather like, no.
Find yourself someone who's got more commitment, more time commitment available than you for if you're a good clan commander. Is that what you're saying?
How can I apply for fame? I can boost on Sacred
You can
Valley.
PM Ducky directly.
I swear to God, I get like 20 PMs a day. Please don't.
Please.
I
That's
just-
actually
I
the
just
best way to
close
apply
them.
for fame is
I just
message
close
Dicky,
them.
especially when he's streaming. Actually, if you send him a message when he's streaming, or just try and talk to him in game if you're on his team, it's usually he'll stop what he's doing and give you all the time he
Man, I
has.
got blocked the other day because I
I
didn't
was
say hi
watching
to
it. I
somebody.
was watching two guys try and block you on a
Cliff.
map. Can't remember.
Cliff.
It wasn't Cliff. It was another one. The one with a rail track through the middle of it. I can't remember.
They changed name to Team Cryptic because that was their sponsor.
Interesting topic that comes up. Yeah. That's the second time the team's changed their name as well, because when they came up, they were Team Topadin, weren't they?
Yeah, but before that they were Rage Quit.
And then, yep, so it's multiple team
They are
changes
changing
name. Like a
identity
chameleon.
all the time.
Like a chameleon. Okay, so yeah, Sand River. What do you guys think of it?
I could make a really mean joke.
Go on then.
I
fire
wish you
away.
were a chameleon so you'd disappear.
Wow.
Feels bad, man.
Wow.
Hey, that was a good one, though.
Your jokes are a bit like your pants, Daki. They're needing changed right now. Okay, so Sand River. What do you guys
That's why you
actually?
have a big box here.
Yes.
What are you talking about? The only reason I'm sitting in the middle is because you're both midgets.
Has the improvement of Oops' gameplay anything
I'm
to do
sorry,
with the
you have
absence
such
of
a
Milan?
guns here, man, to cover everything, right?
The guns,
don't-
dude.
I don't
Just
think
do it like this, like come on.
necessarily. I don't,
No,
because he's
we gotta
probably got
pass.
I don't think necessarily Oops' change in performance is to do with Milan stepping out. I think it's just the team has better sync, better coordination. We actually asked Camille this yesterday at the end of the interview when we had the live interview and said, you know, what do you think's kind of like one of the key things of the team here? And he just said the new guys have come in, they've gelled well, and everyone's just seems to be a bit more camera this season, a bit more experienced.
I don't think it
and-
has anything to do with Milan not playing. If he was playing, he'd be a great asset to the team. because
Huge
he's
asset,
just
yeah.
an overall like amazing player. I think they're just more committed, all of them, to make it work. They're more experienced. Insane seems a lot calmer as well.
That's kind of a factor.
The players they brought in though are performing really well. Like Kerlov's playing great, Raging Potato, Rocky starting to play really well. Crater, your best buddy, has well, he's doing fantastic to be honest. He's having a really good game with the team as well.
I don't know about the fantastic part, you know.
He's doing really good. He's in a team that's number one in the EU league.
He's doing okay. He's doing okay. He
For
needs
his
to-
first season
It's
in
called okay
well,
when you join
put
a
it-
team in the first
yeah.
season ever and then you're in the lead of the...
his first
Scoreboard,
season in
that's
the Gold League is
okay.
Just
better than
getting
your
carried
first
by the-
season in the Gold League.
Look, I
That's
am
fair
not
to
going
say.
to give Creator a compliment. He's getting carried by the 6 other players.
Mhm.
That's why
Okay.
he's full HP in the end and everybody else is dead.
So then who's the player who's not carrying him then? No, never mind. I can't count. Right.
1 plus 6, Ryan. Fingers. 8. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't really care what's in the box. I'm curious what's under Decky's cap.
I'm not taking
we're
off
not,
the
we're
cap.
not, no.
I mean, this is really
It's
bad.
gonna be a bacon or it's gonna be a piece of cake.
You see how bad this is?
Wow.
It's lovely, actually. Charming and everything.
What do you mean,
A proper
charming?
trucker.
What do you look at this?
Look at
But
the
I don't know
fringe,
what does
the
this
fringe
look
is
like?
even level.
You see,
Did you cut that yourself?
I was going to say something, but I'm not going to do
You know
it.
what? You know what I'm
You see, this
imagining?
is
Like there is a
terrible.
road and there is someone trying to hitchhike, and then you come and you pull that head out and you say hi, and the guy just said nothing, nothing,
Just
nothing.
keeps driving past. No, back to what I was trying to say. Sand River, I really prefer it compared to Steps. I think it's something as the season's gone on as well. We started to see different tactics coming out on it as well.
I don't know if I can say I prefer it over Steps because one, we don't know how Steps would be played without boost.
True.
That is one thing. We don't know how it would be because there's always been the eastern side forever. Like it's been there since 754.
Mhm.
You've had the eastern boost. Sorry guys, I was the first one to show it. I know everybody hated me at that moment in time. I remember that one.
This
yeah.
is Sophia, right?
Yeah. And I died in like 20 seconds in
Yep.
the horsing. But like, there's always been the boost, so you don't know how Steps would have played without the boost. That's the one thing you have to imagine. And second of all, we haven't seen the final meta for Sand River yet. Teams are still adapting, teams are still learning.
Yeah.
So we have to look at how Sand River would be played in 6 months to compare it to how Steps was played in the
It's
end.
much slower now than on the start. On the start of the season, it was mainly rushes, quick caps, some kind of brawls. But Sand River now is evolving in some blitz that Gohar is trying to do, some attempts of RTUs, a lot of rotations. So we still don't know where it will end. And honestly, Steps without boosts, it could be a dynamic map.
It
There
could
could be
be.
a bit more flexibility in it.
No,
Yeah.
it would be a dynamic map because you can't just like spot both caps. Like
Yeah.
you can't, if you don't defend the
cannot
western
even-
cap, you can't spot it.
You cannot even camp with a lot of super heavies because if other team blindly takes RT, you're
Yeah.
just dead. Tier 10 RT doesn't forgive.
Now, we talked a bit about teams earlier on and placements in the league and stuff, so we can actually have a look at the standings and talk about them in a bit more detail here, because we've kind of got like 3 separate groups now, haven't we, here in the league?
Yeah, we conveniently painted them in gold, silver, and bronze here because of the separations. Down you can see the matches played. That is very important because we can see here Kazan actually has 10 matches compared to everyone else, but the point gaps are obvious to everyone.
Look, all I'm going to say is if Savage Squad was to put in their European champion, they'd be doing much better than they are right now. They have a champion in their ranks. They have somebody that knows what it's like to be a winner on stage, Mojo, a winner, a real true winner, a champion. You don't find those so often, a natural champion. They'd be doing much better. I think it's time to put in
once more,
Molten.
they might have actually put him.
I think it's time to put in Molten, honestly.
Motor for champion. Oh,
You
never
finished?
mind.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Maybe shoulda, woulda, coulda, but they're currently in last place, Savage, unfortunately. A couple of interesting things for me here is that, I mean, Gohard have not been performing anywhere near.
We were expecting Ding and Gohar to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Well, they're still next to each other, right?
Well, here's
Yeah,
we're still beside. The interesting thing here is that Gohard have not been doing great at all this season, and we're starting to see some hints of some nice play here coming out from Isuba. Isuba could potentially like get even closer to them.
Any of those teams could potentially get into top 6. It really just depends on how they're gonna do, like who they're gonna take points off. Like honestly,
I think the biggest fight here will be for second and third spot.
yeah.
At the moment, it really looks hard that anyone will be strong enough to challenge Oops.
No,
to
you can't
go
challenge
number
Oops,
1.
honestly. Like, there's just so little matches left.
They've
Like,
got-
if Oops gets on 10 matches as well, and they win it, then they're on 27
Yeah.
points, which is
They've got 12 points
5
left.
points ahead of Kazna Crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is 14 matches to be played in
I
total.
know, but
so
like-
there is potential for everything.
They would have to lose at least 2 matches.
Yes.
And then not take any points almost in the other matches as well.
But as I said, like the biggest challenge will be who will be second and third. Like second will lead directly to the season
Mhm.
finals.
I really just fear
here in
that Utopia
Katowice.
is going to have that
It's like
moment.
they're going to stumble.
And the third spot will pretty much play against sixth, so it's much better than to be there in the middle against a team you'd never know what was going to happen. So those fights will be the biggest, I think, at the moment in the league, and of course in the bottom there, who will be sixth, actually, which is a road to safety and possible season finals even over the playoffs.
Yeah, I just hope like Utopia had such a great start of the season that they don't stumble in the end, because they've been there, they've done that, almost.
The
as
only
well.
time Utopia ever qualified for season finals was when they were
Im-
actually second.
Yeah, just
in
imagine
online
Utopia
stage.
doesn't get top 2, and then they lose against like Isuba.
It's not something that haven't happened. So
Yeah.
we said
Kazna
multiple
versus
times.
Penta.
We said multiple times. Utopia really needs to get in those two to be there.
Can EU beat Russia this year in grand finals?
Not when the best European player is sitting right here, boys.
I mean, last year we had Ding on a fantastic run, and they really took it to the Russian teams. They effectively broke Navi.
I mean, they didn't break Tornado though.
No, that's the
Nobody
thing.
did.
That's what I was going to say. They came up against Tornado and they just hit a brick wall. And from what I understand just now, Tornado are playing pretty much similar to what they were playing
the thing
last
is,
season.
Navi was pretty much underperforming for the last, I don't know how long. Like, they weren't doing so well whatsoever. So they did beat Navi, but like Tornado is the one team to look at, and they weren't even close to them, to be honest.
But Tornado played slacky entire season, and then they came to the
That always
moments,
happens with them.
Stepped
though.
up,
to the
yeah.
moments where it actually means, and it was just
It's typical Tornado. They just lose in the season, and then they come to land. They're like, "What's up, boys? Let's
mean,
go."
On the grand finals, actually defeating, like winning the whole thing, Oops could potentially have a decent chance. They have a good chance at a good run because they're doing really well just now. At the grand finals last season, they actually held themselves up quite well.
The thing is, I think any European team matched up against Tornado is
Just different level.
they might be close on tactics, like reactions, but on an individual player
think
skill
we-
level, no. They
I
just-
still think we need to see the EU finals and CIS finals first to
Yeah.
see what is the peak of these teams, because whenever you play the season, it's one thing. Like, you can start slacky, you can play like this, like that, but when it comes to the final stages of preparations, that's what the peak of the team is. And we will know who is ready then and how much, because for the grand finals, it will not improve that much. It's going to be on that level. So after the season finals in both regions, we're going to be able to compare.
But from what we've seen so far, like Tornado's
Oops.
player skill, like with
Yeah.
that lineup, you have Nuclear, Apowow, Nesqui, Diodor,
Noobs.
near you, near
Noobs.
you,
Noobs and bots.
Griffon. Like,
Bots.
Red light snipers.
uh, why teams have started picking up arties? They have less damage and stun, which can be annulled by using a first aid, so it's profitable.
Well, not everyone uses first aid, as we've talked about multiple times, which is like a crazy thing to do, especially I feel for people in bat chats because they always lose crew members.
It doesn't really matter though. They don't bring Artie, like they bring Artie for specific reasons. Like they bring
Yeah.
Artie on Mine's attack to make sure to chip away at the defender's HP before they push. If they can bring one tank low, that is a weakness in the defensive side. They bring Artie on Sand River because you now see people in the position of Koreets with like an IS-7, which is incredibly hard to actually deal with. So the Artie can remove him out of that position to open up new... Arties, they don't bring Artie to do the damage. They either bring it to chip away at the HP or to clear out one specific position.
It's much
Just one.
harder to do damage directly on 7 on 7 because you have less amount of tanks there. It's not like 15 on 15. Other thing is all the picks that are done in the league are blind. So the enemy team has no idea what is the other team picking until you actually enter the game. So that is the factor that you are playing. You think what will the enemy do on the other side, and if you take an RT, you're taking it for a very specific reason according to your tactic. Sometimes it works.
Yeah.
Sometimes not so much.
I mean, it is very specific tactical. It's not something that's a flexible pick like something like a bat chat or a 5A. It has to work in a very specific tactic, and sometimes by simply bringing the arty, if the tactic is already read by the enemy team, you're up the creek without a paddle because it can be very easily played around. Sometimes it might also get used to, I mean, the arty will reload quicker than the consumable for if you do have a medipack. So sometimes you can get it hitting somebody with a quick stun, like getting in 2 tanks in the stun and then going in for a push or something like that.
It's really hard to coordinate that. It usually never actually
The only
happens.
Artie that can actually perma-stun is the Bachelor Artie. Like,
Yeah, but he has a reload then.
The stun is not long enough. Because, like, only on a pen, the stun is almost equal to reload, but the pen chance is, like, very, very, very low. Only the Bachelor Artie is the only Artie that can make somebody waste their medkit. Like, you shoot once, you stun them, you push, you see them use their first aid kit, and then you shoot again. Issue with that is that you're probably going to splash half your team and stun them as well in the way.
And also the other thing is the problem with teams is, as Ryan said, a lot of guys actually don't even wear medkits. They just don't have them because there is a choice between that and fire extinguisher and the rations of the specific nation, and most of the guys just take fire extinguisher and rations instead of medic.
I get so
and
frustrated.
repair kit you must have.
Yeah,
That's
I
something you
get
must have.
frustrated when it's a bat chat because you see so many bat chats will lose their commander, which is then a huge thing for the bat chat. They lose another crew member as well, and we've had multiple battles where somebody's only got one crew member, like I think the driver trying to do everything at once, and that can really affect the actual vehicle's effectiveness in the battle and the fight. But yeah, very specific to have the bat chat. Now with these matches, with the results here in the standings, next week is a kind of crunch week at the top of the table, isn't it?
It's gonna be. We have only two weeks left, so not much room for teams to play around. This week we will have normal 3 match days. The next one we'll have actually 4 to compensate. And these are some highlights. You can notice that Kazna is in both of them, together with Utopia and Oops, because we said already the first match between Utopia and Kazna is probably the one who will decide who will be the second in this offline part, in this online part, because they're really close.
Yes,
and,
yes and no.
If Kazna beats Utopia, I don't think Utopia has a chance to catch up.
The thing is, if Kazna beats Utopia, but then Oops beats Kazna, kind of nullifies still, because it's 20 to 22, and Utopia has 1 match down. So if Kazna beats Utopia, yeah, I mean, it does. Like if Kazna
It's
beats
also direct
Utopia,
matchup.
yeah, if Kazna beats Utopia, that's the most important one. But like, they need to be careful not to lose after, though.
I mean, this first entire day is actually really vital because Esuba is gonna fight Gohard. Esuba can be tough, and if they take any points from Gohard will have a huge problems how to progress up if they want to get to that 3rd spot. I don't think they can get to top 2 yet unless some really weird things happen.
Utopia has 1 match in hand, right, over Kazna?
Yes.
I was just doing my math and I was getting confused.
Isuba has a match in hand over Gohard as well. So Gohard are on 9, Isuba are on 8.
So then it still depends, right? Because if Kazna beats Utopia, then Kazna goes to how many points?
Kazna beat Utopia first time 5-1.
No. If Kazna beats Utopia this time round, Kazna will go to,
25.
and they will still have one match in the hand. Yeah, okay. If they beat them, I think it's over.
So yeah, I mean, Ding, Oops, big game as well. If Oops can beat them
I
twice, if
think
they
Oops
can
will
beat them
beat
again.
Kazna, though.
I think Oops will beat Ding.
I think that one is like one of the matches they might actually go very close.
There
'cause
is
they beat
one
everybody
really
so-
bad coincidence here for Kazna. They played 3 matches
Yeah.
this week,
You got
and they're
th-
playing
yeah.
3 matches again. So that means again a limited pool of tactics. They can pull the less rest,
Remember,
even less
Daki,
training time.
Kazna 3 times this week, Daki. Remember that.
So that's a problem for Kazna.
Where are you again in fantasy?
Also, all of these matches for Kazna are hard. Utopia and Oops and Esuba can be all, of course, from really hard opponents to hard opponents.
Especially because it's someone's do or die for Isuba as well. They
Exactly.
they need to pick up those points because, for example, if on Friday Savage beats Cryptic clean, like 3 points.
Yeah, clean 3 points for
If
any of
they,
the
if they
bottom
beat
teams
them
is
clean
huge.
3 points, then Isuba is 2 points behind. So
Yeah.
then they need to pick up 2 points somewhere as well. So for Isuba, they need to pick up points where they can, and I think they should try everything they possibly can to take some from these teams.
In the second match, we have Oops and Kazna highlighted because depending on what happens on the first one, Kazna will even have a chance to close in on Oops.
Yeah.
Things can happen. And basically, these matches will decide first and second, and then everyone else will look very carefully how to close in.
Yeah, if Oops can get a win there on Friday, it's a huge thing if it's a clean win. We don't necessarily have a highlight match on Sunday because a lot of how Sunday looks or how important the matches are on
Yes.
Sunday depends on the first
Sunday
2 days
is actually
really as
super
well.
important still because neither
Everyone
Utopia,
needs clear
Yeah.
victory.
neither Utopia or Kazna can throw away points there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot of it's how the other days go as well, depending how they win their first matches and stuff like
But
that.
no matter what happens, all 3 teams go hard. Utopia and Kazna won't clear 3 points. They don't want to risk anything.
Hmm.
Because if you flunk with the teams that are theoretically less than you, and they have all of these teams have 2 to almost 3 times less points than any of these guys, it's gonna be a huge strike even to lose 1 point there. God forbid to lose a match. Then you are automatically discarded down somewhere in the table.
Yeah, big plays for next week. I'm looking forward to Thursday, for sure. Now, some people were asking in chat about codes. The way this works on Mondays is that 5 people are just picked out at random. So sometimes we see names that we recognise and we get shocked by it. So let's find out which 5 random people have won codes today and see if we recognise any of the names.
Let's see how rigged it is.
Oh, it's not working. Daki, you need to click your fingers and wish really hard.
I cannot click my fingers. We already concluded this.
There you go.
You disappoint me, son.
Feels disappointing, man.
Just imagine. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Wait. What?
I saw the last
I
name
saw
there.
Cyril Hauser there. He's been asking a good couple of questions in chat.
I think Pi won as well, man.
No, not Pi.
That's too
I'm
short,
pretty
come on.
I'm pretty sure Pi won as well, dude.
Venitus is claiming it's rigged.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
I told
Okay,
you Pi
bring it
won.
back.
And Venitus as
Venitus
well.
is there, and he said it's rigged. So that means Venitus can't claim his prize. He's calling it rigged. He's a prize winner. He's, like you can't have it both ways. Venitus here.
He's a
Either
rigged prize winner.
You know.
Well, Venitus can pick either accept the code or be unmodded in my channel.
Oh, just be like me and unmod yourself.
I never modded you.
You did, and I unmodded myself.
Everybody makes a mistake once in a while.
Yeah, even you when you're trying to say something. So.
We already had this
We've
question.
already had this one. Maybe, but it's going to be incredibly tough, to be honest. Incredibly tough. Kind of interested in a way to see how Elevate from NA will do if they go to Moscow, because they've been smashing aside everyone in America, no
They
problem.
don't have competition in North America. Though. Nobody
Yeah,
puts
but
the
it'll be
time in
interesting
like they do.
to see them come up against all the other teams from different regions.
I'd have
be-
a similar run to last time.
Could be an interesting tournament. But yeah, only 2 weekends to go. Basically 4 matches for some teams. It's going to be an interesting close
14
to
in
the
total.
season.
So for Esuba only 6 because they are the only team with 8. They played so far. Everyone else plays 4 or 5. Kazna 4 because they're only 1 in 10. Everyone else plays 5 actually. So that's about it. And it's gonna be all in 2 weeks. So this week 3 normal match days,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. And the week after that, we will also cast on Saturday because we have 2 extra matches that have to be done.
If you casters could join a team, which would it be?
I would have to say Oops, only because Oops are the team that have given me some team merchandise. So I have an Oops
Has
t-shirt
nothing to
already
do with
with
them
my
being
name on
first,
it
right?
and my team flag
Has
on it.
absolutely nothing to do
Hey,
with them being
other
first.
people can ride the bench to first place with Oops, so why not me? Hi, TDZ.
I would pick Savage Squad for a challenge.
Savage Squad because it's your fame team.
In no association.
Do you like challenges? Or is it challenging people you like?
I like challenge. That's why I'm still talking to you.
Always with the burns, Daki. Always with the burns.
That's just too easy, man.
Okay, Mojo.
Must be cryptic because they're pink.
Okay. Okay. I mean, everyone would have thought Casna Crew perhaps there, but you know. I mean, you did play with Casna Crew, so kind of like, you know, kind
That's
of
too easy, man.
too easy, yeah.
Easy is the word I hate the most. Just say it's too... I don't know
Predictable.
what I'm looking for.
Too predictable. There you
What
go.
are you looking for?
A word that's obviously not easy. That's why Daki finds it difficult.
Easy
Kazna
is
is
just
working
a
for me, man.
banned
I have
word
them
in my
in my fantasy
vocabulary.
team, and they're doing well.
Shockish says that's it. Shockish is gutted right now, you know. Shockish thought you would have said
Man.
ding.
You know, he still makes fun of my gorilla plays on Prokhorovka.
10 clock
That
for
happened.
variety.
As I said at the start of the season, my loyalty is easily bought by just giving me a team hoodie or team t-shirt. Simple as that.
Shokish is still making fun of me because in one training, I think I bounced 2 bad shots with a gorilla, okay? And that is just unlucky.
Okay. Will they introduce tank locking for variety? We talked about this before, like...
It's not needed right now.
Being able
There's
to
enough
ban a
variety
tank
as
as
it
well
is.
would be like devastating actually on some maps.
It's
if you
not
just
needed
said,
right now. There's enough variety
you know,
as it is.
I don't
to be
think
honest.
you could even play best of 9 in that regard then, because if you lock tanks in some maps, variety would be there, but the tactics would be absolutely ridiculous.
You need to have tactics for every single map, and every single map without a specific vehicle, and then trying to counter a team that doesn't have that specific vehicle. It would be super complex. It's not like in other games where
I
you
can't
only...
say it would be not interesting. I would actually like to see one day
Maybe.
what chaos would come out of that.
For example, there's a well-known MOBA game out there, very popular MOBA games, and that kind of works because they only have one map, so it's easier to work tactics around that kind of stuff.
And
But
they also have,
for
like-
us having 8 maps with 4 of them in a pool at a time, interesting grand finals, I think so.
Well,
it was
EU
like that
teams, EU
last
teams been
season
training
also.
with the Russians for years.
Yeah. I
But
think definitely we can have a good chance.
they just divide each other based, like when you see the seeding, where they have the least chance to meet, and then they train so they can beat their opponents, and that's about that.
Yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Daki? Grand finals?
Far away.
Far away.
Far away. December, cold.
I'm moving to Ibiza.
Ibiza? I thought you were moving. Never mind.
What?
Okay, I thought you were moving somewhere else, but you know, I don't know.
I'm moving to Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe.
Okay. Okay, you
Zambezi.
can start up the new Wargaming League there.
Yes.
I like Pie's always asking about like African Wargaming League for some reason. Maybe he wants to start one up himself. Well, that's pretty much us for this week, guys. Unless there's any last-minute quick questions, there is one. Would you bring back? I guess that's meant to be the WTF, the waffle, or lost maps like Port to W Game. I miss Port, to be honest. I quite liked Port, but the waffle, hell no, absolutely
No
not.
on both. No on
Mojo,
both.
what's your feeling on port?
No.
What's your
I like
what's
port
your,
and randoms.
What's your feeling on Dragon Ridge or whatever it was?
Dragon God.
Oh dear God, no. Even worse.
No.
I actually won a
Dragon
tournament
Ridge-
on that port, but never
Dragon
again,
Ridge
thank you.
looked cool, and Port was kind of okay in randoms.
Yeah, Dragon Ridge looked cool. That was also about the only thing good
And
about
Port,
that map.
Port had a cool idea of the elevated
except for the
roads,
part
but
when you drove out of spawn, you got shot from the other
shot
side.
straight away from this one that spawned up top. So I think we've got one more question, and that says yes. Do we have any plans to
Yeah, skip this one.
get this one?
I swear to God.
Right, that is us all for this evening. We'll be back again on Thursday at 7 p.m. CEST. It'll be me and Daki leading that one off. Looking forward to those games. Daki won't be wearing everything, but it's really important that you guys tune in on Friday because, well, Daki or Mojo is going to be wearing something. Pretty
And I
sure,
guess
yes?
I will be, because you will have to wait for your new order.
I'm ordering one. Yours one tonight.
This all depends on who actually
Then
orders
none of us
something.
will be wearing it, man.
and
It's
it's
too
for
short.
next week.
Okay.
1-day delivery. Hello.
Hello?
You think?
I can try.
It doesn't exist. I tried already. Never mind. We'll see.
Okay, one way or another we'll find out. There's only one way to know, and that's for you guys to
I
tune
hope
in.
they have a hat in your size. Hey, there is a lot below there.
I hope they have
Oh!
thighs for your age.
That's always
Okay.
possible.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again on Thursday.